Welcome to Gawne in 60 seconds, and today I'm here with the Kia EV5. Yes, it's the equivalent of the Sportage in Kia's EV range. We're going to take a look around it, going to take a look inside it, and I'm going to take it for a drive and tell you if you should buy one or should you stick with your Sportage. Let's get into it. Right. Looking at the front of the car, it is very much like a baby EV9. This is very striking. I really like it in this candy red as well. I think it's a very good looking car. You've got the signature lights from a Kia that just cut into the body line. I think it looks great. Down here you've got all your strakes and your active aero, a little bit of chrome trim there, and then this black just cutting in there just to give it a little bit of an accent. I really like the way this looks. I think it's very strong. It may not be for everyone. Tell me what you think, but it is just very much a slightly smaller EV9. As we come down the side of the car, you've got some plastic cladding all around the wheels, and this is where your charging flap is, down here at the front of the car. It's all active, so you just push it and it'll open itself. Don't force it. The wing mirrors are in black, which is on like a aero strake, which I think looks really good. As you come further back, you've got privacy glass at the back. You've got slight black across the bottom there, just a small accent to break up the colours. But it is very blocky there. It does really cut in down there. Like, it is very well sculpted. Door handles are these poppy outy, sticky outy handles, which sort of offer themselves up to you. I'm not a massive fan of these, but most EVs have them now. And again, you've got more cladding around the back. You'll notice the roof line is split from the body colour by this little strip of black here, just to make it look a little bit floaty. Black roof rails complete the look, and the way it cuts in, you do get quite a bit of a shoulder here, which I think looks very good and adds to that sort of aggressive macho SUV look. Now from the back you can tell this car has a lot of junk in the trunk. It is not a small car. This is, again, slightly shrunken EV9, but does it compete with the Sportage? Well, it's very similar on the back. You've got the lighting accent as you would expect. It's not quite a light bar because it cuts out in the middle, even though when all the lights are off you would think it was a light bar. Then if we open it up, you have quite a large boot, and again I would say it's quite similar in terms of boot space to that of a Sportage. What you do get in here is the little clip things that you also get in the PV5, so you can buy accessories and go on the rails either side. You have some space underneath here, so you can easily fit things like your cables underneath. You've also got some tie down points, and here is the piece de resistance, because you have a full 3-pin socket, which means if you're going to take this on holiday, you're going to go camping, you can plug in your air fryer or your hair straighteners or charge your laptop. It's a very useful thing to have. Vehicle to load just makes life so much easier. You'll see also the seats fold down in a 60-40 split, but there is a little ski hatch in the middle. I went to the range the other day and needed to buy a broom, straight through the middle, loads easier. So we're in the back of the EV5, and it is a big car, so it's no surprise to me that there is loads of headroom and loads of legroom. In fact, there is so much space in here. It is, I would say, almost limo-like in comparison to the Sportage. It genuinely feels like there's acres more space. That's because the wheelbase is slightly bigger than the Sportage. So genuinely you have absolutely tons of room in here, and your feet go nicely underneath the seat as well. You've got seat back pockets on the back of the seat, and they are the slightly more premium ones that feel like airplane style, and you've got USB-Cs on the back of the two seats. You've got some buttons here to turn your temperature up and down, and a little pocket there for some sweets. Isofix on both sides here, and your obligatory cup holders in the armrest. Now bear in mind, this is not the top level trim, it's the mid-level trim. This is GT Line, top level's GT Line S. In this mid-spec trim you do get heated seats either side as well, which is always a bonus. Also got a completely flat floor, so sitting in the middle is possible with an adult. However, because you've got loads of headroom, the problem is this seat is sat further up, so you're not really well catered for. It's not the greatest position in the world. Obviously you've got the best view, but it's not the greatest position in the world because it's quite a stiff seat as well, so it's not wonderful. Just to look at the doors on the back here, The bits you touch are all very nicely appointed with some leather covers, and on the doors where it's plastic, it's still covered, so everything's quite nice. These door handles are really nice as well. As I said, it's heated seats in the back, space for a bottle in there, but not an awful lot else. Hey, 99% of you haven't clicked subscribe. If you could please just click subscribe, it would really help. It doesn't cost anything, but just means that this content will appear in your feed. Thank you very much. So one of the greatest things about the EV5 is that it is a proper SUV. It is sat slightly higher from the floor, so accessibility, getting in and out, is absolutely wonderful. It's really, really easy to do so because of that position. Now, inside the front of the car, there is plenty to have a look at. First of all, these seats are very nice. This leathery material is really nicely contoured. It just feels very, very premium. Again, the doors, you've got that little bit of ambient lighting that runs all the way across to the middle of the dash. All this is plastic, but it's kind of a rubbery plastic. And then you've got a glove box with this huge book in there. So it's great. Now into the center console area. Now, because there is no transmission, there is all this space down here, so you can put your bag in there or other stuff, your shopping, anything you like. It's a really big space, and it's got ribbed rubber for your pleasure in the bottom there as well. Look across here, you got your USB-Cs, and in there is your 12-volt hidden. Great thing about Kia is you do have plenty of physical buttons, so these toggle switches for your blowers and your temperature are absolutely fantastic, plus these shortcut buttons if you want to just go to your map or your home, all those sort of things. Very, very easy indeed. You've also got a volume rocker in the middle here, which is super helpful because it means your passenger can turn the volume down. It's amazing how many times that doesn't appear in cars. So here are your infotainment screens. You've basically got three screens. You've got your main entertainment screen here, which is all this sort of 12 inches worth. Then you've got this little screen in the middle here for your climate controls, which you can't really see in the driver because it's blocked by the steering wheel, although this is right in front of my head. If I move my head, I can see it really easily, so it's not sort of a moaning point, it is just where it is. And then you've got this equal 12-inch screen in front of your face here for your driver display, which has got everything you need, like your battery percentage, your regen, your sport mode, all those sort of things, of course how fast you're going and all that jazz as well. You've got real manual air vents, so you don't have to fiddle with those in the screen. And then down here you've got things like parking brake, open your charging flap, all those sort of things down here. It is all very nice. The Kia steering wheel is, as you would expect, drive mode in the middle, 3-spoke with real buttons. Turn off your speed limits by just pushing and holding the volume button, and again, it's just a rocker. It's really easy to use. I like the two-tone squircle steering wheel. I think it's very easy to use, and of course it's heated. Now back to the center console. Down here you've got some cup holders and a space in there to hide your car suite from the family. So all in all, in the front of the EV5, there is lots to love. It is a very practical, very usable family car. So what is the EV5 like to drive? Well, it's very much like its brother, the Sportage, which is the petrol equivalent, really. It's quite a nice, sensible, easy car to drive. It's not going to win any sports car awards because it's a bit boxy, but that also does affect its efficiency. It's not as efficient as you would expect. Certainly not as the EV4, which is a lot smaller and lighter and a little bit lower and a little bit more slippery. This doesn't have that. So as you're driving it along, it's got plenty of feel. The steering wheel has got some feedback on it. You know, a lot of EVs are a little bit soulless, and this definitely isn't. It's got a bit of everything, and it feels really nice, actually. Really, really nice indeed. I really like that because it's just communicating with you all the time. You can feel a little bit of feedback from the road. Just makes life loads easier and loads more engaging. Your view around is really good. Your pillars are a bit chunky, so you do have to rely on your mirrors. Your view out the rear is all right, and the mirrors are actually really big, which is handy. This is genuinely really, really wonderful. It is really nice to drive. I think I would go for the next trim up, the top level trim, because I think I would prefer the ventilated seats and the other bits and pieces you get with the top level trim in a Kia, but otherwise it's really well appointed. It's got loads. I really do like the fact you've got the physical toggle switches for your temperatures and stuff. It just makes adjusting stuff while driving so much easier. When it's all in the screen, it's just such a pain in the you know what. If I was on my driving test, I'd have been done for hesitation then. That's not like me. Your driving position is really good. The seats are comfy and they've got nice comfy headrests as well. They're all right. They're not as good as the EV9 and the EV4, but they're all right. I'm quite enjoying this. 5 things I love about the Kia EV5. This is Kia's Sportage, but electric version, effectively. And number 1, I love the fact that it's this SUV shape. It's nice and big and imposing, and I really love the way it looks. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Number 2 is going to be the tech, because in the tech inside you have fantastic screens, which are always brilliant, but they're also backed up by loads of physical buttons. Number 3 is going to be the storage in here, because not only have you got a really big boot down there, you've also got loads of storage space down here, place to put your bag. You've got a full-size glove box as well, so really handy. Number 4, it's going to be the fact you get a 3-pin plug in the back, because that's really handy if you're taking it away on holiday, or if you're using it to charge your laptop or something. That is super useful. And then at number 5, it's the way it drives. It's got a really nice commanding position. It's really comfortable. It's a really nice family car. So we're here on the Kia website and we're going to have a quick look at building an EV5 so we can look at the different trim levels and prices. Your base spec is the Air that starts at £39,345. For that you're getting 18-inch alloys, you're getting the climate control screen in the middle as the 2 other screens. You're getting heated steering wheel, heated seats, privacy glass, highway driving assist with hands-on detection, blind spot collision avoidance and your lane follow assist. If you go up to the GT line trim, then that's the trim we were driving today. All of these come with the 81.4 kilowatt hour battery. You've got basically a choice of front wheel drive or all wheel drive. The front wheel drive is 42 and the all wheel drive is £45,000. On this trim, you are getting electric driver's seat, LED adaptive headlights, adjustable lumbar support, wireless phone charger, the 2-tone leather, the smart powered tailgate, customizable ambient lighting, and the passenger seat is also adjustable. Then you've got the Storm level trim, which is a new level trim here in the UK, giving you 19-inch alloys, black artificial leather, outer rear heated seats, the smart power tailgate, the Harman Kardon sound system, ventilated seats. And then if we look at the GT Line S, which is the very top level trim, there are multiple versions here because you've got the front wheel drive and the front wheel drive with a heat pump, and then you've got the all wheel drive and the all-wheel drive with a heat pump. Of course, if you're going to drive in winter, then you're going to want the heat pump because it preserves a lot of that range. So your top level trim here is £51,045. But on all of these GT Line S versions, you are getting the sunroof, the power socket, the head-up display, the fingerprint recognition, so multiple people can jump in and out and their settings be saved on their fingerprint, the parking collisions avoidance, the Harman Kardon sound, the relaxation seats, etc. So you're getting quite a lot more when you jump up to that GT Line S. Personally, I love a panoramic roof. I also like the ventilated seats that you get on the top level trims as well. So there is quite a lot to go for. Are you going to want all-wheel drive? Possibly not in an EV. It's probably not going to be absolutely crucial for most people. So really, if you want a top-level trim, you're looking at £48,000. So then, the EV5, should you buy one? Well, if you're looking to go electric and you can charge at home, then it's almost daft to just go and buy the normal Sportage. You may as well pick one of these. It does everything just slightly better. It's also cleaner, it's more comfortable, it's quieter, all of those benefits of driving an EV. It's not the most efficient, but that's probably mainly because of the shape. It is quite big and boxy. If you love the EV9 but you don't need all 7 seats or something quite that big, then this is definitely the car for you. Personally, I would absolutely recommend it. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful car. It's engaging to drive, big, practical, and the price isn't too bad either. I really like this. Please tell me what you think in the comments below. Many thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.